are people from Lebanon who are not well educated, but they feel they should have the big position and can do anything they want. So I took off. I left them. Then I started my own small consultation. When I started doing recruitment for people, I still do recruitment on behalf of companies, but I've slowed down a bit. I'm trying to re-strategize. I had to change the company name to re-strategize. So I still do it for fun. The people I'm doing it for, usually I do it for them for free. It's for fun to keep me busy. But I was doing it on a large scale, and then I was doing training on customer care. I'm that kind of person. When you come into my interview room, it's very difficult for you to lie to me. Because, I don't know, it's a gift. I end up getting people. I can easily tell when you wrote your own CV and you didn't write your CV. I can tell when you are lying to me. I can ask questions, and sometimes it's very difficult when you see people you can see very well educated people, and they enter your interview and they don't want to answer questions. They feel you should know, you should read their mind. That is when it comes to, I had an opportunity to interview let's say the engineers and the architects and stuff like that. I was on a panel. I was privileged to be invited to join a panel. I didn't know how my name came up. So it was very, very interesting when you meet let's say those technocrats or people who are more like, they call them essentially skilled people. When you're interviewing them, it's very difficult to get them to come up to talk. Some of them don't understand why you're asking them questions. But it's very, very interesting when you do interview. And I moved there to join GTS engineering. Before that, I was also doing some other thing. I was doing some events. I usually do events. I do MC on the side. It was going to start on a large scale when I moved to Kumasi, so I stopped. But all my company's parties in Kumasi, I was the MC. I still do MCs. I did another one, large one for the Catholic Art Diocese Sibit recently. All of them I do it on the side for fun. Now anybody who comes, I'll charge you. And Lucy is a very friendly person, outgoing. I like learning. I like to go into people's minds. So when you are speaking to me and you are saying something, I always like to ask questions from whatever you are saying me to ascertain that whatever you are telling me is the truth. I know people think I'm very, very assertive. People see me as an aggressive person, but there's a very calm side to me when you don't know me very well. In my work, when it comes to my work, yes.
When you were talking to me, when you were talking to Rabna,
when it comes to my work,
what I did help. And you weren't wanting to understand me. And I'm trying to tell you.
Are you asking me a question?
Those online on tutorials how to check what your
when it comes to my work, I like to do my work well. So that is
I explained to you, it's still difficult.
as a human
the
resource.
way you were shouting and
I
talking.
wasn't shouting because you see, she was talking. I couldn't hear you. So
Can I continue talking?
when somebody is talking,
Cynthia.
somebody is talking.
Hello.
There's a meeting. There's a meeting.
Okay. So this is Lucy. I'm still working as an admin manager now in GTS Engineering. I handle most of the HR issues. I do training and development, mentoring, compensation, so many things, recruitment, everything. I'm an HR generalist. I'm not a specialist. I don't specialize too much in any other aspect. I do everything in HR, so I have a hands-on on everything. For my education, yes, I did my degree with the Christian Service University College, Kumasi, which was affiliated to Legon. I have done a lot of short courses in human resource, customer care, labor, Excel, so many. I can't mention all of them. And I have had opportunity. I do a lot of charity, so I have opportunity to be on part of a Lions Club, where I met a whole lot of people, did a lot of charity. I do a lot of fundraising activity for my church, and I'm on the communication committee, and I'm an usher. I do so many things. I like to do a lot of extracurricular, but my work is my most important thing. Those things do not get in my work, in the way of my work. Everybody is telling when I'm in church and I get a call from the office, I'll step out and pick that call and work on it. So this is Lucy. Any questions for me, please? Is everybody there? Or I'm just talking.
That's very interesting, Lucy. Everybody can hear you. So, how was it like growing up as the 11th born of your siblings?
It wasn't easy.
Well,
It wasn't easy at all because I'm the last one and it's like I'm a very different person. When my father says you should sit, everybody sits. But when my father asked me to sit, I asked him, why are you asking me to sit? And it's like, he doesn't understand where this man is coming from.
mm,
I'm that person who likes to ask questions. I will ask questions. Everything you ask me, you have to explain to me for me to understand. And my siblings,
mm,
the age gap between the one I'm after and myself is very big. So I can't
okay.
say I like my siblings and but I'm not too close with them. I don't think any of them is my confidant because um when you are going to say you're not going to say primary, you go to middle school, so you can't join us. You've not gone to secondary school, so you can't be with us. You've not gone to this level. I was more like on myself. I did everything on my own, and funny enough, I turned out.
Mm,
I learned everything on my own, so that sent me to asking a lot of questions for things that I.
mm, right. Now, as you rightly said, you come across as a very aggressive individual. Has that impacted you negatively in any way at all, or has that rather influenced how far you have come in terms of your career and personal engagement with people?
Okay, I am I was born an introvert, serious introvert. I will tell you.
Sir,
Yes,
a shock.
yes, I
If
was.
you know, hey, if you know Lucy, this one a shock. Hey, Jesus.
Realize it takes me a lot of time to get to know people.
Jesus.
With people, it's not easy for me to be friends with people. Seriously, I was that kind of
In
person. When
fact.
everybody is talking, I'm reading. In school, when people are talking, I'm reading, and I always get BT for no apparent reason because I'm always reading. And I used to read a lot. I used to read everything
Mm,
I come across. I read. If I come to
mm,
maybe I visit a friend and you're in the law school and you're getting bored, I'll pick your books. I'll start reading and asking questions. But I have to learn to be an extrovert because I had friends who were not happy with me. I used to be in a college students union. If you're a member of CASTU, you don't turn out to be a very strong person, then
mm,
you didn't,
mm.
you didn't pass through that society.
Yep.
Yes, we traveled and we're coming back and he didn't understand. Everybody was on my case. It's like the whole bus was just standing around me and they were making noise, throwing my books all over. And then when I went to secondary school, I realized I was being punished too. So when everybody does it, I follow the crowd because it was becoming like I was too an introvert. And so I had to learn to be an extrovert. I'm that kind of person that
Mm,
says something about me and I can't even walk in the crowd. So it took me a lot of time to learn. And what helped me is that because I learned how to ask questions. But my aggressiveness comes to my work.
mm,
When you see the other side of me, I can be very funny. I can be very,
mm-hmm.
I'm a very blunt person. That is my problem. My bluntness
Yes.
will not take away from me. I'll tell you how I feel and then be okay because I don't like to keep things in me. I don't remember the last time I fought with somebody for even 2 hours.
Mm.
5 minutes we have to solve our problem, especially when it comes to my work. You are lying, we'll have an argument, and when I need to do something my work has to do with you, I'll come to you and take the information. I don't care how you feel.
Mm.
That is it. So
Interesting.
it has
Right. So,
been
mm,
negatively in a way when it comes to relationship because
mm-hmm,
people see me as the aggressive person. They think I'm this person.
mm,
I got to get to know me, to know the very caring, kind, and laughing person and funny person.
mm.
No closer to you, no, no. How to know?
That's a very good one. Right.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, Lucy, if you were not doing HR, would you have pursued science, or what exactly would have caught your fantasy?
Well, I would have pursued science, actually. I would have pursued,
Okay.
I would have pursued science. I'm very, very handy, so I would have pursued
Mm.
science because I can fix so many things around me, change my own bulbs, like change my own socket,
Mm.
stuff like that. Those things, but so it's not like.
Mm.
But I like it.
Okay, so you are looking more towards engineering than medical.
No, it was more medical. If I had wanted to do
Oh, okay.
engineering, then I would have done engineering. But it was more medical for me. And then
Okay.
I wanted to do was more of how do you call it? Interior decoration.
Okay.
Yes, I got this entry into a university abroad, and it was very, very interesting because you have to do a bit of engineering, architecture,
Mm.
you have to do mechanical, electrical, you have to do landscaping. It was all part of the
Okay. All
package.
right. So we have a question for you from Vic. Vic, please activate your microphone and then please ask your question.
Hi,
Yes.
hi, Lucy. Good
Yes,
evening.
I don't know why she's asking me a question.
Wonder, I know you are involved in a lot of charity work. I know you're a member of the Lions Club. How did you get into the Lionism, and
Oh,
what?
Lionism is very interesting.
Her
When I
name is a lion. What do you expect?
no. Lion means liberty, intelligence, and nation safety. It's an acronym. Lionism. When I was doing my professional course, we decided to go and clean. My school decided to go and clean the children's hospital, and then around that time, the Lions were having an activity there. So I saw them, and I started asking questions, and I got interested in what they were doing. So the person decided to introduce me to the Leos. That is the youth wing of the Lions Club. That is Leo, which is Liberty. Uh, this is a leadership experience and opportunity. That is the acronym for Leos. So I was part of Leo Club. I was there with Vic. Became my president as time went on. So I've been a secretary. Being a secretary in the Lions Club is not an easy thing. You can write a good minute, no matter how English, they can cancel the whole minute for it to start again. It wasn't an easy thing. They really, if you become a lion and you go through it, you grow, you are groomed to become a leader, you are groomed to be a professional, you are groomed to know a whole lot of things. It's a good thing to be a lion. So if anybody interested can call me and we can talk about lionism later.
So,
Mm. Right.
yeah, there's this perception out there that Lionism is an occult or occultism.
In fact, that's my question.
Exactly.
Lionism is not an occult paper. You see, if you see the acronym, liberty, intelligence, our nation's safety. So that is what is Lions. The Lions stand for L for liberty, I for intelligence, our nation's safety. It is more geared towards coming together to be able to give service in a very broader way. You can do give service or do charity in a small way, but when you come together as a group of people, you will be able to make a bigger impact in the world. And it started by one gentleman called Melvin Jones in the US, and Lionism is all over the world. And we don't if you see lions don't put on rings. The only thing we do is maybe our identity pins and stuff like because we don't want um of course it's more of a service club. What
Mm.
is if there's a networking also there where you get to meet people to share ideas and businesses. It's all over the world. Some of my friends who traveled out will tell you he logged in and said, I'm in the youth wing of the Lions Club. I'm in the US, and he had a very he really enjoyed himself. One person, when you
Mm.
travel, it's a network thing for you to travel, and then, but the main aim is
Mm.
service. And we are usually there
Mm.
at the site in place, and we do everything. We do a lot of charity work.
So you do not do any recitals and any secret meetings as is purported.
No, How you
I see.
how you join Lionism is you come to the meeting as a visitor. You come and sit in the meeting. The meeting
Oh
is
yes, I've been there before.
yeah. So that is it. So if you
Except
know,
that I don't know in this. Well,
if not, let me
okay.
invite you.
We will probe this one extensively further. But Pearl does have a question for you. Vic, are you done with your questions?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Right. Okay, my love. Pearl, please activate your microphone and ask your question. Hello, Pearl.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
How are you able
Yes,
to
you speak.
come? Hello? Yes. I want to actually see how she's able to combine family with all the things that she claims she is be doing. She seems to be busy all the time. So how is she able to combine family with her work?
Okay, Lucy is not married. Lucy is single, but
Okay.
I make time for myself. Even I make time for everything. I'm a person who really arrange myself where I have to be at every time of the day. If I have to sleep, I'll sleep. Everybody will tell you. If you call my phone and tell me I'm sleeping, I'm sleeping. No matter what, I'll tell you I'm sleeping, I'm sleeping. So I arrange myself. I like to keep myself busy. The reason is that I had a mother who, when you wake up at 5 o'clock, you're a very lazy person. So by five, before 5, you should be awake and have almost finished your work. So it's sleep is a little. I don't sleep that much. So I always have time to do a lot of stuff. And when it becomes to
Okay.
becoming that, I cut it off.
Mm. Okay. I seem to be getting some feedback from
Okay.
someone's background. I'm not too sure
I
whose.
think you should mute everybody
So,
and then
so if you're not speaking, just mute it, okay? Thank you. Now, Dr. Ayi, Dr. Theo Ayi has a question for you. I know he's online. So, Doc, why don't you ask her?
okay,
Hello, Dr. Ayi.
maybe you should read
I
it.
will not read your question for you. Ask her.
Oh, I thought you were going to read it.
Aha, la la.
Oh, but wait, you are putting me on the spot too.
I mean, he didn't bribe me.
Okay. So I was asking, I was saying, I'm going straight to the hot seat too, because this is not hot for you. So I was asking, when was the first time you received your first love letter?
Do I even remember? Remember? Okay.
You don't remember? Is it that they were many, or you didn't receive?
Or the content was not sharp.
Lucy was a tomboy, so all my friends were males, and they were most of them were very not. I know I received some letters when we were in school, but it was funny letters. You put it on board, everybody will answer. You know the old system. When the person writes you a letter, girls where you see it's funny, you just put it on the classroom, we read it, people we answer the questions on the blackboard, and then you answer it. And the first one I received was from a friend of mine, a parish. We were in the same parish, and he sent me a very nice letter with the roses. He took a picture of the rose, printed it nicely, his photo, and sent it to me. But
I just romantic.
nothing came out of it.
Ejao.
I really didn't answer that. I really didn't answer it.
So they were doing their own telegram, eh?
I tell you. What's up in different level?
Oh no, those times when there was no letter, people were using letterheads. They would write letterheads.
Yeah.
They, in girls' school, the one guy was chasing almost 3 or 4 girls, and the letter will come and they'll go and stand on the podium in front of their dormitory balconies and start screaming, "Hey, the letter has come!"
So who
I
was
see
your crush?
you had fun.
Come again?
Who was your crush?
I had a crush when I was a very older person. The person is still my crush, but I'll mention the name.
Hey, tell me, I want to work it out. You know, I fix things. I make things happen. I'm a mechanic. Tell me.
I'll tell you back though.
So, maybe the person is even on their platform.
Part-time shooter. You won't fight shooter.
Doctor, you can
Fita graduated to mechanic.
Oh yeah, part-time fitter or person fighting full-time mechanic.
It's not there.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
But
So Lucy, you did mention.
Okay, let me give you something personal about. I don't talk much about myself. I was a first tomboy. I have all my friends were all the opposite sex because I grew up on St. Martin's campus, where the male were boarders, and the female were day students. So I only see I have a lot of sisters, but I saw more male people than. And when we came to Accra, most of them were in Accra, so they took me as their little sister, and I was always moving around with them. So I was well protected. So I started dating after national service at the age of 22, 23. That was when I started specifically. So usually when you send me those things, I see it as a joke. So I just don't take it as serious. But it was 22 years when I started dating. My first boyfriend, he's in the US now, and a professor. So that is it.
Without having to go too deep into your personal life, are we at liberty to blind date you, or are you open for dating, or you would rather not date? I mean, just so we know, maybe there are people on the platform who are interested, or have brothers who may just be interested. So we know if you are available on the stock market, so we can sell. I'm interested in making good money.
I'm available. Please, the money.
Between at the head, though, people. I'm about to make money. I just have to make.
I'm available.
Vic, what were you saying?
It's available, pa. So please.
Oh yeah, you. Vicky, Ebeska. We have to make some money.
I hope the person will not be worried about my mind. My mind runs. I know I seem to know too many subjects, so I get into trouble with men because they think I intimidate them. That is my problem. So.
Oh, there's always a way around it. I'll have to give you some, tips here and there, just to train you. But I am interested in making money. Fidelia and I are going to partner on this one so we can make some good money from it. Hi, Fidelia.
How beautiful.
Yes, Fidelia is online as well. Fidelia, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I was streaming it on YouTube, but I realized that I couldn't say hi when she was wondering if somebody could hear her. So I had to join you guys on this one.
Perfect. Do you have any questions for Lucy?
Well, Lucy is doing wonderful. I've enjoyed all her feedback and her response.
Very good. Thank you so much. But we will be making some money, just trying to connect her with, people. We're going to list her on the stock exchange.
There's no when you come, you have to pay her
Ah,
now.
yes. I will make some good money. Now in COVID, we need to make money. So,
yes.
By fair and foul means.
If nobody has any question for me, why you don't like me that much?
Oh no, we started now. You are rushing. Take your time. So, Lucy, you did mention somewhere along the line that one of your managers did influence you, and then you did accounting for a while, but you realized it wasn't for you. Now, in terms of HR in specific, who were the people who had influence on you, who guided you to settle into HR? And at what point did you know that, yes, indeed, HR was what you wanted to pursue for the rest of your life?
Okay, I can say HR came around when I was doing I was just thinking about this thing recently, and I realized that my late sister-in-law, my oldest brother's first wife, who passed away, she was when I wanted to do the professional course, she went to look for the professional course for me. Initially, I was interested in doing ACCA, but she came up and told me that the Professor Usubuo, he's of late, is a very short man with a lot of credentials. Professor, doctor, plenty. Usubuo fellow. So she wanted me looking through my he looked through my CV about things. I did a lot of, when I was in school, I was doing a lot of work here and there. I would know
Mm.
the whole system. When we break, we go to do Indotech. When there's Indotech, you can go and do a stand assistant.
Yeah.
You can go and do some tour guiding and all that. So
Mm.
he
Mm.
insisted that I should do AB. So when I went in, that was the first time I saw HR. That was in '98. I saw human resource and I
Mm.
started researching what human resource was. But I was still very good with figures and accounting. So my confusion was I should have done ACCA. I should have done this because I wasn't around that. I wasn't too much of a reading person. I did A-level maths geography course, so I wasn't too much of a reading
Okay.
person. Though I read
Mm.
other stuff. So she was encouraged. She said, "No, I know you very well. You like to help with your nieces and nephews. You are their nannies. You get into their business. You try to correct them. You try to help people. Anybody who calls you to do something, you are there to help." So she thought I could do that. But I didn't take
Mm.
it serious till I went to do my degree. Then I decided to, then I started researching about human resource. And I realized
Mm.
initially it was personnel. I didn't like personnel at all. But I realized when human resource came in, I realized it was a very good. I started reading, I realized that it was very broad. It wasn't as narrow as we thought it was, what personnel was. So
Mm.
I had this lecturer, Mr. Atami, Reverend Atami, and when he's teaching human resource, you love it. So I just decided that okay, since I didn't want maths, I don't want to do finance, I don't want to do anything. I'll take it. That was a challenge for me. Human resource was a
Mm.
challenge for me because I wasn't.
Okay.
So I said, okay, fine, I'll take this challenge. It was a very big challenge for me because it was a diversion from calculation to something that was more reading, but I loved it.
Mm.
So that is when I started
Perfect.
the process. It's as I was born.
Right.
That's it.
Okay. Now, as a young professional, what were some of the challenges you had, and how were you able to surmount them?
Well, if you say as a young professional in the human resource
At,
field, my whole career,
yes, at the time you started, what kind of challenges did you have? You did mention you worked with a Lebanese unit.
yes,
Now, how did that impact your career? What kind of challenges did that pose for you, and how has that influenced your today?
okay. The challenges I had there was that one, they decide to fire and hire at any time they want, and I wasn't that kind of person that will allow you to fire. I remember they fired some people, and I came back and reinstated the people for reasons that it was not necessary. You said if you come to work weekend, I'll give you 10 Cs. So if you don't come, you don't get 10 Cs. The person doesn't come and doesn't get 10 Cs, you still fire the person. The rule was not stated that you have to come to weekends. And when I got there, they didn't have any channel of communication. There were supervisors. The man was trying to reorganize or restructure the company. One of them was a Sierra Leonean. He was a British Lebanese, but more of a Sierra Leonean because he grew up in Sierra Leone. He wanted to change the company. His partner was not very good because they brought a lot of Lebanese people out there, and he would go and give instructions to the subordinate, give instructions to the supervisor.
Lucia, all right. I
Sorry.
was losing you, so I wanted to be sure.
Supervisor has to give instructions to the subordinate. So it was becoming like conflict of interest. So I have to step in. It took me almost 2 to 3 months to try to stop fighting and try to help them to know that, yes, it took me a lot of talking to my boss to understand that if you want to do something, change because you have supervisors, make sure you pass it through the supervisor to the subordinate. Because if you say the same message to the supervisor, you go to the shop floor, they were not respecting their superiors. And then I realized
Mm.
people have been apprentice for like almost 7 years, 8 years, and they are still apprentice. I was wondering what kind of apprenticeship was that. So I have
Lifetime apprentice.
so I have to come and give some people permanent position, and I had to increase salaries. And I want the main partner was not here. So one of the Lebanese guy who was a sales guy who could even
Mm.
write a proposal. I had to come and write a proposal for him myself. Did he understand? He felt I was being given too much position because
Mm.
now he cannot treat the workers the way he feels like treating them. So he
Mm.
started working with the other partner, and I said it
Mm.
was too much for me, so I left. But after leaving, they saw my worth. So the person I left behind was
Mm.
calling me, so I had to do a lot of work with her in the background. They are still friends with me. I go there and interact
Okay.
with them, but I thought
Perfect.
this was not good. And the second
Right.
I realized there is that these companies, I don't know whether we have a law in Ghana, because when the companies come, you realize that senior managers, there
Lucy.
are
Okay.
only few Ghanaian senior managers there. You see, they bring their people. Even some, most of them don't even have how do you call the green card or the working permit. Some of them don't have the qualifications, but you see that almost all of them
The work permit.
as managers, and then we have our Ghanaians as genius, and the way they maltreat them, it's not good. The salary base they give them, because when they bring the expatriate Lebanese, the amount of money they pay them when the local person is doing almost all the work. That is the problem I had. I'm very passionate about this thing, because I know when you read some of the countries study, they will say that your company, you should have 30% senior managers, 20% of the indigenous as this level, 100% as the lower level, and all that. But I
Mm.
don't know what is happening in Ghana. It doesn't work in Ghana, and I'm not very comfortable with that. And
I can understand.
that's why most of our workers are really, really exploited, because they go and bring people who don't have
Mm-hmm.
any qualification, they don't know anything, to come
Mm.
and manage people who are intellectuals, and it's very difficult.
I can understand. Right. So Abigail has a question for you. Abigail, please unmute
Yeah,
and then ask. Yes.
okay, thank you, Cynthia. Lucy,
Welcome.
yeah, my question is, you mentioned that you serve in the house of God, and I would like to know, how has the godly life influenced or impact your career as a HR journalist, as you mentioned?
Okay. Everybody who knows me will know that I'm very, very spiritual and religious. I like to pray at any time. I believe God is my friend. If I'm not happy, I'm a Catholic. When you see my house, I don't know how. I'll show you. I don't know whether you guys will see. You see, there's an altar in my room there. I spend my time there, and frankly enough, it makes me very, very fair when it comes to my work. I'm not I don't cut corners for. I can cut corners for you when it's genuinely that I can cut corners, but there are certain corners I will not cut. People know if I say I won't do it, I won't do it. You can even
Mm.
I don't care how much money you put on my table, I won't do it. If I say I won't do it, I won't do it, because it's not because of principles. It's because of my own principle I've set for myself, that I don't do certain things. I don't do certain things, but I can cut corners for you. I can help you do a whole lot of things if I feel it is not going to cause me any problem. But something that I know will harm me, I will not. If I genuinely want to help you, I'll help you. I'll go all out. Everybody knows that I'll go all out to help you. So, and it has made me I can say that was what has made me not to keep grudges for a very long time.
Mm.
Because one of the prayers I've prayed when I was young was for God to give me a heart of a billion, the patience of a billion, a retentive memory of a billion, a zeal of the billion, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's a prayer I've said since I was a child. I don't know where I picked it from, but it's my consistent prayer. So I have a very big heart, a very, very big.
Right.
But it
Okay.
doesn't stop me from telling you my peace of mind anyway.
Uh-huh. Um, right.
Are you
Abigail, do you
okay?
have any more questions? Okay, I think
Um,
she's.
okay, so
Are
it
you
means this, yes,
Questions.
I'm okay, but in terms of, you said cutting connects, if you want to do it, so it means that when the it gets tough, you would be willing to forgo your principle and cut corners.
No, 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 no. If I have to help you, if I have the room to be able to help you, when the going gets tough, everybody knows me. I won't do it. If you can sack me, I'll go. I won't do it. I won't do it. If I say come, some people will come and they need help to do something, and maybe you just need to help them, push them around, or sort or ask permission or intervene for them. But when I was in mechanical, I was in a customer care cash. One of the customers said, "Oh dear, oh dear, your child dear cry, when you have to tell him." So that is it. If it's not done, it's not done. If I can't, there are certain things you cannot do, like falsify the documents. Then definitely you'll be caught. So why should you falsify a document or something? Yeah.
Lucy, you have a question from YouTube. It's from Kwame Boafo, and he says, "What's the toughest decision you have had to take in your career, and how did you handle it?"
Well, was for me to terminate somebody. It was difficult, but I didn't actually. It was gross insubordination. We sent one of our technicians to go to a client's house to work. The other colleague was not on call, but he decided to follow the person, and he was drunk. Went to our client's house, misbehaved. It was a serious fight between him and our client. So I had to query the person who took him, but I have to let him go. But the painful aspect was it that he was a very, very, let me say, a very, very hardworking and a very, very experienced guy. But crossed the line too much. It was serious gross insubordination because he was fighting with the client to the extent that he was thrown out of the house. People, the whole neighborhood had to come in. I took a couple of days to really investigate, listen to his side of the story, the side of the story of the colleague, the client, and I had to fire him. The other ones, I'm that person. I prefer to tell you, I prefer to sit you down and give you the third degree than to put it on paper. When I put it on paper, that means it is very, very, you've gone too far. I put everything I do, I talk to you. Anytime I talk to you, I log it in Excel. So I have an Excel sheet, I have the name, the date we had a discussion, the reason we had a discussion, whether it's a general discussion or it's a verbal one. And so when it comes to a long time, I'll just have to put it down. That is it. Apart from that, the other ones were my career. I have gone through various departments. So as a customer care person, as a cashier, that I have to tell my boss that I will not do this work because I'm off duty. They shouldn't be calling me when I'm off duty. Was one of the difficult things for me to do. But
stubborn at heart.
No, that day I have to do because I realized he was taking advantage of me. So I had to do it.
I see. Interesting. Now, in the next 2 years, how does it look like for Lucy? You can decide to take 2020 out as a corrupted file. So from 2021 second quarter to 2022 or 2023 first quarter, how does it look like for Lucy?
Okay, one, I'm getting myself back on the job market to look for a job. I need to venture into something I feel more challenging. So I'm on the job market, but I feel the one thing I want to do is to start my consultation again. Mainly recruitment and then training and mentoring. I like to mentor a lot. I have got a lot of interns who have passed through me, and they'll tell you my internship is not come and sit down and sleep, as some people told me. So you have to learn and work. And I've got some people a lot of them coming back to say thank you for being tough of them because he has helped them finish school properly and then in their new job. So something on grooming, mentoring, and then I want to go into my private charity big time.
Okay.
I tried something on my birthday last year, and it was just fun. It was something I
Yeah, I
wanted,
remember.
and most of the fundraising was done on WhatsApp, and I raised a huge amount of money for people. And I know I have the it's one of my
Mm,
goals, so something I want to look at because I like to help the underprivileged. It's something.
okay.
So Vic, please, if you are there, you have work to do.
That's a very good one.
Yes.
Now, in terms of coaches, have you had any official coach, and what kind of impact has that had on your career and your personal self?
Coach. I have not had an official coach, but I have people who have helped me through my career. I have people I go to when I'm challenged. A few people I can say. Uh, my first person that my work with, my boss, I'll mention his name, Mr. Joe Hyde Jr. Mr. Hyde is
Okay.
the person who doesn't. You don't have to say I cannot do it. You have to be able to do it. And when if you are very hard worker, you do his work. He's your person for life. So he's
Mm,
that person who tell you there's nothing in the vocabulary that say no. I remember when we went, the computer was not that much. We had a computer. Secretaries have to type letter for you. He said, "Look, my lady, why do you have the computer yourself? If you want to wait on these secretaries, you can start writing the letters yourself." So if you see me writing letters and stuff in my settings, you think I have been a secretary before, but I have not. Thanks to him, we have to learn everything. He doesn't care putting you in any department. The first he sees that you're very good here, you carry your notebook and you go and work. So he really helped me to be an all-round person. So now in my
mm,
life, I can move to. I know what when I go to finance, I understand what the finance people will do. When I go to the workshop, I understand what they do because my first work was credit control. My first official work was a credit control work where people who were owing, I have to chase, and they come with issues. Sometimes I go, say, go to the workshop, let them explain it to you. Go and see what the car is, what the spare parts is. So then you're talking to the customer, you understand. And I took the
mm,
advice. So I have a lot of clients who really trusted my judgment and my information I give them because they realized that I was giving them very good information. So I'll say he's the one, and one of my sisters who used to run a video library. I
mm.
say most of my customer care, I learned it from her because I go
Perfect.
there. She was running a video library. I go there, the way she treat the customers. And sometimes when a customer comes and you are frying your face, if you don't take care, my sister will give you the dirtiest knock on your head you never like. So,
That's sweet.
so
Now
that
I know you read a lot. Now what particular book has had an influence on your thought pattern?
um, oh,
It's not Mills and Boons, is it?
oh no
Okay.
no 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 no.
Ah, okay.
I used to read that a lot. Those and books were
I know now. I know. I can see on your
something
face.
that I could read when I came back from Kumasi, I could read about 15 or 20 of them. Hey, this guy will not stop. 1 second.
Who keeps calling you?
Yeah, mommy from
Already the market has started. Oh.
Okay. No, he the person knows I'm after him. I'm after his life, so he has to call back.
Wow.
My plumber
Okay.
took money from me before the lockdown. He's not finished. He's not done the work. So, so
So,
that's it.
what book would you say influenced you?
Okay, I will not say I will not I don't remember the books, but I read a lot of articles. Any articles I pick up on the net or anywhere I read. So I have been doing some leadership read. I read everything. I research on anything. So there's this book. Oh, is it Jeffrey Archer or something? One of his book. I've forgotten the title. Ooh, forgive
Okay. Which of those?
I no longer read storybooks.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's one of his action movies, but most of the thing that have I'll tell you it's movies. I'll lie to you about.
I'm sure it will come to you. Sure.
No, it's I do movies a lot, and one thing about me when it comes to movies is I pick up the good aspect of movies. I
Okay.
had this friend, Thelma, Dido, if you can hear me anywhere you are, we will pick books. No matter what books we read, we would pick a movie and watch the movie from our own homes. We come together and we'll spend, you see us talking for hours and you think we are gossiping about somebody, but we are trying to pick up the good aspect of that movie or that book or the personality, the bad person. We digest everything. So I never watch movies where people are doing bad things. I want to follow the bad thing, no, because I don't like the pain the bad person goes through. So I prefer to go through the pain the good person went through. And so I'll look at it. I'll have a lot of books here. I have to start looking at the books I've read. I have so many books here. Okay, there's one. One of the books.
That's fine. When you find the title,
it's by Rhonda Byrne. The Magic by Rhonda Byrne.
There's a question for you from YouTube from Benis, and he's asking. You need Lucy. Lucy, yeah, it's a question for you from Benis.
Cynthia, I can't hear you again.
And she's asking you what led you into this career path. I think you answered that, but maybe she didn't hear. So you can just. I'm saying that there's a question.
I've got you now. I went into
from YouTube from Benis, and she wants to know what led you into this career. I think you answered it earlier. Maybe she wasn't online, but you can just perhaps let her know it was through your sister-in-law.
Yes, it was through my sister-in-law, and I was trying to avoid doing accounting.
So we can move on. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm saying that it was through my sister-in-law.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Right. Yes, I can.
Who introduced me to ABE, where I found out about human resource, and then my wanting to avoid having to sit behind my desk and calculating all the time, which was giving me headache. I can say if you wanted to do medicine, medicine is more of a human person. So if you want to switch it, things like a human resource was the best option because it also got to do with people. So
okay,
that is it.
Now, Lucy, there's a question for you as well from Augustina Kwasaba. She wants to ask, have you encountered a difficult boss before, and how did you handle the relationship, and any lessons learned shared with us?
Okay, I had a difficult boss, still have a very difficult boss who is a micromanager.
It was an interesting office.
It's still an interesting office, but he's not changing a bit. It's a micromanager who thinks every idea has to come from him. So it was very difficult for me to be innovative and very, very innovative and very expressive and very, very ability to be able to do a whole lot of things that you need to do, because if it's not his idea, you can't do it. So it was a very, very difficult thing for me. It has really broken my spirit. I'm trying to regain my spirit because I felt I was a bit surprised. And I was quiet. If you ask some of my bosses I work with, I'm that person who can work in my boss's office and I'll tell you, my friend said, I work for you, don't deal with it. But I had to be quiet because there was my older brother was one of the directors before, so I decided to not pay attention to him. But that was a mistake I did. I should have put him on his toes. I should have corrected him from day one so that he would stop misbehaving. But he realized, it got to a certain stage, he realized I wouldn't be patched. But funny enough, he went praising me somewhere that I'm that person when he gets angry with me and he asked me to do something, I'll still do it. He feels I may not want to do my work again because he was very rude, but I'll still do my work. And I feel it's very bad. Something I don't like is people you work with. I recently had to tell you, look, I work for you. You are my colleague. I don't owe you. You don't pay me, so you don't talk to me like that. I'm not your house. Verbal abuse is very, very, very bad. People who work, you don't allow people to be expressive. You don't allow people to advise. We always end up making so many big mistakes, and we got some very good people resigning. Those people had clashes with him, serious clashes. That was not repairable, and they had to resign. And when people are resigning and they are taking a bad name of you outside, it's not very good, especially the company. So I decided to ignore him and do my work, and I think he worked a lot. And I decided to go on my knees, just ignore him and do my work. And as time goes on, he decided to change his attitude. He realized that things were not going. But I've had a lot of difficult bosses. My first boss was not a very easy boss to work with. If you work hard, he should be able to, because I can say my boss was a workaholic. He loves his job more than anything.
Okay.
If he cannot work as he is, but there was only one thing about him, that is that if you do your work well, he will explain and make sure that you do your work well. But you have to be at his part. My bosses have been difficult, but I've been able to sort them out. Some I sat them down, some I ignored them. But I remember I locked one of my directors. I went to the office, locked the door, and I said, "Sir, we need to talk." I said, "Sir, please, I came here to work for you. I am not your house. If you ever talk to me like that again, then I may make a mistake and I will respond. You might not like it, so can we cross the line?"
When I told people you were a no nonsense person, they thought I was exaggerating.
I have taken it a long time ago. So up to now, he called me and said, "Me, mommy," to say, if it wasn't for fun,
Okay.
I was very polite, but the way I put it, I said, "Sir, please, with all due respect, do not go on again, because I might be forced to respond and you not like it." But because I kept quiet, it got to a certain stage, I was getting angry quickly, which was not me. So it really affected me, but I have really sorted myself out. And
we thank God.
yes.
Now, I have a hand raised. Unfortunately, I do not have a name. So please, if you're the one who's raised your hand, just kindly shoot your question, please. Just activate your microphone and shoot your question. I have clicked you at the moment,
Okay,
so please.
so
Yeah.
I simply want to know the spending behavior of such a boss. I just want to know his spending behavior. Does he go with the accountant or the accountant says, or he just decides to spend anyhow?
He decides
This
to spend
is
anyhow.
Michael from the US.
He spends
I
anyhow.
was going to say.
He spends anyhow. When it comes to him, when it comes to him, he wants things to be done his way. So when it comes to him, it has to be signed. So it got to a certain stage, he wasn't passing second documents to me. Because like something like refunds, I can tell you the refund. I will tell you the refund date has expired. You can't bring this. Sometimes we give fuel, and then you finish spending your fuel, and then bring another fuel coupon for extra fuel. I felt it wasn't a good example for other workers to follow. So you see where my problem started coming from. But when he takes it to another department or to the procurement or accounting, they quickly process it for him, and they pay for him because they feel he's the boss. So whatever he says. So that was where some of my problems started coming from. So when I got to a certain state, things that I was supposed to do, I was being sidelined because he knows when he comes, I will not sign it. But recently that he brought a refund that everybody decided to dump it on my table, and I was asking them why. One of our group directors have given a warning, so I have to work on it professionally by seeking how we should handle it from the director and all that. He brought another one, they brought it on my table. I told them, I've sent you a mail, so go and tell him what the mail says and don't come to my office again. So I'm that kind of person. His spending was very bad. Very bad. Very bad.
Lucy, I have a question for you from Patricia. She'd like to know, okay, she's saying, would you say networking has helped you in your career in any way? And how has networking helped you?
If you say networking, is it the networking for HR network or networking with other people? Are you reading from?
I mean, basically, when people refer to networking, they are trying to talk about your connection with people, the relationships you have with people.
Okay, I have a lot of
the various groups that you find yourself in, and how this has impacted your career by far. Yeah.
When I was younger, when I was very serious with the recruitment, I can say networking helped me a lot because a lot of people were introducing me to other people. So it was a very good deal for me. But I'm not that kind of person who takes advantage of people because I know you, so I'll come and take advantage of you. And I'm not kind of people. I'm very, very independent, but I've learned to shelve that one too. At least I've learned to know that you need to get a shoulder on. I like to do everything myself by my strength, but I realize that you need a helping hand. So lately, I'll be knocking on some doors, some big, big doors.
Mm.
I've
Absolutely. Now,
yeah,
for example, the relationships you've had at church. I mean, I came to your parish and you were ushering, and I saw you talking to almost everybody. Now, that kind of network, has it been able to open some doors for you in terms of your career, in terms of your personal life? If you needed, for example, to see, let's say, a gynecologist, for example, has this network, your pool of friends, has it been able to have some positive impact on you as a person?
yes, I'll say that. I would say that it's got a very good positive impact. I have some friends that are doctors, so when I want a doctor appointment, they refer me to doctors, and I'm quickly seen. I'm not delayed. Um, when it
Mm,
comes to yes, the church, my charity, most of the people that were on, most of them came from my parish, and
mm,
one person I wasn't too close with, but was the first person to give me a huge amount of money
mm,
to do my charity work. I can say he was my biggest donor of 1,500 cities. It was individuals I was going to. They
mm,
help. I know I do fundraising. I remember I called one person, say, you always call for the church. Don't you need anything? So I'm still keeping that person in mind. I'll be knocking on his door very soon. So they know I don't ask them, but when I need something and I walk somewhere, I really get help. This
mm,
is that person that can talk to anybody at any time. So sometimes I walk to offices and I seem to know people. Somebody I've helped
mm,
some time ago. So I really get helping hands, especially when I need something. And I'm
mm.
that
So
person when I
your
need
networking
something.
is really working for you.
It was working, but I've not used it that much. So I'm not about to start using it very well.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. It's very important. Very, very important. Right. Let me see. I think I saw somebody also. Michael, did you want to ask a question again? Because I saw your hand up.
Yeah, I think my question has been answered. I mean, through her discussions. I
The
mean,
explanation.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I want the last one is was the wife involved in the running of the business?
No,
Okay,
it's
that's
a
good.
family and friend business. So the
Okay,
directors, that's how we have so many companies everywhere. So their minds are everywhere and they've loved the person. So now that they've realized things are going on and they are descending on almost all of us.
yeah, I share so much in your story because I found myself in such a situation when I was
Mm,
back in China, and it's very, very, I don't know how to describe it, but it makes the HR practice very, difficult because you
yeah.
shift away from, mainstream practice, and you always
Mm,
to hit here and there. I mean, so much disrespect within the organization because
mm,
the so-called CEO, GCO, whatever, comes so late to
mm-hmm,
work, and you have to stay over, and time of getting back home, coming to work, and a whole lot
mm-hmm.
are not so much in place. And I wouldn't always
Yeah.
encourage anybody to work in such an environment. If you try to make
Mm,
a change and it is not,
It's not
you,
easy.
mm,
yeah, you just walk away. That is me. I mean, just walk
mm,
away and then find somewhere that you'll be able to make your practice and then have a future.
mm,
Thank
mm.
you for that.
Right.
Thank
Well, I mean, that's a very awesome submission. A lot of people find themselves in that kind of setup because of the system that we have in Ghana, where a lot of people have had to start family businesses, and the influence in there is always the challenge. In fact, my husband calls it Kofi and Sons.
Yeah, that,
As soon as he feels you work for Kofi and Sons, I mean, for him, all such businesses work. There isn't a structure, and you can't follow policies. It's Kofi and Sons, and in Kofi and Sons, I mean, somebody else dictates how much you spend. Someone else dictates, I mean, when they want to sleep and when they want to wake up, and so Yeah, that's the challenge there is very real, and she's been managing this for years. I mean, congratulations, you've done so well. I salute you, madam. I
Yeah,
really salute
she's
you.
done awesomely well. Yeah, that is
It's
right.
not
Yeah.
easy, but I'm
Yes,
about to move on. So
yeah.
anyway, any more
I
questions?
I I,
So
I
I said,
am happy you're looking forward to moving on.
yeah.
We will be throwing it to the house. Any persons who can help, we're trying our very best at this moment to help get all our sisters and brothers who are looking for new opportunities to be taken up. We are all back on the job market, not because we're losing our jobs, but because we feel for some people this is it's time to move on to newer places so you can learn new things. For others, it's because their jobs are threatened at this time. And so they need something new. So the appeal to the network is that there is power in our network. So if you do come across any opportunities, kindly feel free to share because a lot more people are looking for such opportunities. I'm looking for something new because I'm exhausted. Lucy will tell you, I'm tired. I want something new, something exciting. I want some new vibe. Michael has promised to take me to US, but now that I can't fly out, so I'm stuck. So right. So
Fidelia,
yeah,
Fidelia,
yeah,
Fidelia,
Fidelia
bring
too
me
has.
to New Jersey. Okay, Fidelia is the biggest.
Yes,
She's the
I,
biggest.
I she's the biggest. And it was so funny that whilst I was in NJ, I didn't even know Fidelia was just two or three blocks away from where I lived.
You
It's a
see?
funny world, but the power of network now we know, so it will be much easier in the future. So
Yeah.
Lucy, who
I
knows?
hear you, Michael and Cynthia. I hear both of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
So Lucy, it's been awesome. It's been awesome on
Wait,
the
Cynthia, I
seat
want to do
having you.
that. Wait, Cynthia, let me still finish.
Um,
I am
no,
still.
I'm not closing, so don't worry. I just wanted to check if there was any more question coming from YouTube at the moment. Okay, I was trying to load the feed. Okay, Lucy, you can go ahead whilst I try to load the feed.
Okay, Lucy does a lot of stuff. So I am currently selling automatic hand dispensers. If you want some automatic hand dispensers, alcohol, please get to me. And I used to distribute Ava coconut oil. So if you are interested, please
Uh,
get to
uh,
me.
how, uh, uh, how much are you giving me as a commission? See this one.
How much am I giving as a commission? Don't worry.
As commission.
The automatic hand dispensers, the when I get a lot of people buying, I can give you commission. The other ones, I just put a negligible stuff on it.
That's fine. Now,
Yeah.
Lucy, finally, I wanted to ask you, in terms of HR practice here in Ghana, what are your thoughts on how the mother body is handling issues, and where would you wish that HR was positioned in the professional arena here in Ghana, and what kind of initiatives are you looking forward to for us to be able to push forward the agenda?
Okay. I think was it yesterday somebody asked a question and you did explain.
Yes, Michael asked, yeah.
Yes, and it's something I'm very passionate about it. If the HR body is not doing anything here, we can also do something aside them. Because I realized that the IHRMP, I should have joined them somewhere 2008. But when I went, I have to go back and try and get myself. But I realized that they were just training people, and I was wondering why. Because if it's a body, there should be regulation. There should be training given to human resource. Because we have all sorts of human resource people. Now there are
Yeah,
people who are not professionally trained human resource. They are in the office and they just put you in the human resource. Go and do the human resource.
yeah,
I've met most of those people in my. I'm that person who easily helps people. So when you come, I help you. I forget to charge you. So I've met most of those people who are there. You realize that they are doing the wrong thing. People think HR is just there to fire and hire. That is it. But we are not here to fire and hire. There's so many things we do. We are into safety, we are into compensation, we are into strategic management. HR has to know the bottleneck of the company. You have to understand the business. You have to know the business you are running. As an HR, when you go somewhere and they ask you about your company, you should be able to sell your company very well. So
Absolutely.
you have to know the business. HR is not just there to deal with issues of the work, and when they ask me, I don't know, I have to call the marketing manager, I have to do this. No. Human resource cuts across everywhere. When you do human resource, you do a bit of finance, you do a bit of safety, you do laws. Human resource comes with a lot of laws. You do all sorts of subjects. There's a bit of
Yeah.
procurement, and as a human resource person, you deal with a whole lot of department. If you're in a company where there's finance, procurement, engineering, how do you call it, other aspects of the company, cleaning,
Yeah.
you need to know the nitty gritty of the company. I find it very funny when human resource don't like maths, but there's maths in human resource. If you don't know maths, how do you compensate?
Every aspect.
How do you do performance appraisal? Because performance appraisal, there are so many
You rate it. You
rated
rank.
to do. Yes.
Yeah.
So you see, that is why you remember when we were having the chat with the Elsie. People were only talking about the essay type of performance. How do you call it? Performance.
Oh, Heather, you mean?
It was rather header, yes, because
Yeah, Heather.
people don't want to do the rating and all that. But we need to know anything. We need to know a little bit of something. So when you get the opportunity, read something of if well, I can say my upgrade, because when you go to some of the companies I have, you have to run around all the departments. Our orientation is the problem. Because me, when you come to my office, especially my interns and national service, you spend 2 weeks entering every department in my company before I can move you to your department that you need to work. Because I believe you to understand what goes around. So we, the HR, have to start learning a bit of here and there to understand what we need to do. We have to make the mark. We have to make the people believe in us, because it is because of us that we are not respected, because we tend to lack in certain areas. So it is us to learn more, to make ourselves very, very versatile, so that we can be able to be accepted, to say that when I go to her, she can give me everything. Because our duty is to make sure we add to the bottleneck and to the growth of the company, not just to be there. And we should learn to stop asking the boss, say you should fire and hire. I remember there's a case, one of the airlines, when the boss asked that an HR to fire somebody, the HR didn't ask any question. The person went to seek a redress in court, and the person won deep damage against the company. The director sacked the HR.
Of
The
course.
HR took it to court and lost. I've forgotten the case
Of
because
course.
the director said he did not advise him. So he blamed her for not advising him. And I know that maybe that director is a person who will tell you do this, do that. But in the long run, you did. So you have to be able to advise. So if you give your advice and your advice is not taken, then you cover yourself. So that when it comes to losing your job, you might not be able to lose our jobs or anything like that. That is all I can say. But I feel the HR network,
Perfect.
aside the AI HRM, we can do something. Because I remember the government has circulated some new HR policies for their government institutions. I remember sharing it on the platform
Yeah.
one time ago, and
Yeah.
I saw some of them, and I was wondering where the HRs are. And there's this gentleman who is a safety guy who is chasing me. Cynthia, I have to introduce him to you, asking that the
Okay.
HR should get involved in the safety and environmental, because this year's safety was supposed to be harassment in the office, which was more of an HR thing.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he has been harassing me day in and day out as to what we are doing. Anything that comes up HR, he sends it to me. So I'll introduce him to you so we can add him to the platform, so that we see. So because you can see, if you do SPHR,
Okay.
if you do the international one, you see the courses under the subjects we are supposed to learn under everything. And I think we should do that, and we should encourage our body. I think it is
Yeah.
us we have to start lambasting our people to do their work, but because we don't worry them, we don't pressure them, they feel we are okay. But when we start pressuring them and going after them, that look, you have to start doing something, because surprisingly, people are cutting jobs and they are cutting HRs and admins because they feel we are nobody. So if we don't start doing something now,
Yeah.
in the long run, they'll kick us out, and an engineer will come and sit there and think the person can do an HR job. People think when they have the software, they are doing an HR job. So that is it. I hope I've not talked too much.
No, you've made perfect sense. No, you were making perfect sense, and I always say that, you know, in order for the Ghana HR profession to be respected by employers in Ghana, HR has to toot its own horn. You know, you have to let people know what you're doing and not just a paper pusher. And I know that the culture, you know, anytime I talk about HR in Ghana, I always have to consider about the culture differences that we have in Ghana, that sometimes it plays into why a lot of HR managers are reluctant to say things when they are asked to do things that they know is unethical. Because it's hard to find jobs. And a lot of HR professionals in Ghana, they don't want to go against the leaders because they don't want to lose their job. But the associations that we have in Ghana, the HR association body has to be the one drilling the horn in the public and get public consensus, you know, get the leaders in Ghana to, you know, buy into the message that, hey, HR is more important and not just a paper pusher or a pencil, you know, a pencil pusher. Because even in the US here, a lot of companies think HR is of no value. They think that they can move anybody into HR. So this is not only centered in Ghana, it's a global phenomenon because most people don't understand the value of HR. But what I always tell leaders is, you call me when you get a lawsuit. And once you find yourself in a lawsuit and you call me, then I'll tell you what HR does. So it's a message that we keep on, even with Sherm. We keep on, you know, advertising. Sherm advertise heavily on CNN. It's a message that the association body have to drill into the public and let the public know that you can't just take any one body and put in an office to operate in HR. So you have, you know, you have been spot on. And there was a comment that you made, and I said here that value bomb, because you said, you know, you have to be, as an HR professional, you have to be able to sell your company wherever you go. And that message, it needs to be on a bumper sticker for every HR professional in Ghana. If you don't know what your company does, you are in the wrong business. You know, you have to be able to know what your company does before you go in to work for the company. So thank you for releasing that value bomb. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you. See?
Hello, I think Cynthia has lost her connection, so I'll just quickly add up to what Fidelia just said. It is very paramount as an HR to know whatever that the business is entailed with. And I remember Jeff Bassi in the class with the theory of balance scorecard, where every HR person should know every facet of the business. When it comes to balance sheets, you should know what a balance sheet is, because at the end of the day, it boils down to money. When it comes to safety, when it comes to other departments, so that an HR person who is there will be able to sit on management meetings, and an HR can one day be selected as what, a CEO of an organization, because HR persons have not been able to prove their worth, especially in Ghana. So when it's time to look for somebody to be the head of the organization, they rather tend to finance, because they think since the person has been able to handle the business in terms of finances, then the person can be the manager of the whole organization. Yeah, I know it is not only disciplines like HR. I've also worked in areas of communication, and it's same. In communication, it is much worse, because when there is no crisis, it's like they don't have any work to do. But as soon as there is any communication crisis, they say, hey, go to those communication guys. After everything is over, they are no more noted. So we as HR persons should be able to take charge of our work, do diligently, serve, and then let us not leave any gap, so that when certain departments fill them, then we are pushed behind the doors. So that is what I'll also add up to it. Cynthia, I don't know if she's back.
Thank you.
Cynthia is not back.
Okay, so I take over from Cynthia. Any questions?
Okay, go ahead. So do you have any more questions on YouTube and all that? Let me go to YouTube and find out whether I have some questions there. Okay. I'm going straight to YouTube. Uh,
Yeah, Lucy. So I already have my first commission coming through. Maureen would like to have some of the dispensers.
okay.
So after the session, I'll send you her number so you can contact her.
Okay.
So at least my first commission is already on the way, thankfully.
Cynthia, I hope
Where did
she's
you
not
go
doing that
to?
business in
Yes,
the office.
yes, in fact. Yes, in fact. In fact. Sharing is caring.
But Lucy has to pay. Free advert.
And she has to pay. She has to pay this one. She has to pay.
Cynthia,
Okay.
I wanted to share on the platform, but I needed to get permission from Cynthia before I can put anything on the platform. So that's why.
Of
Yeah.
course. Before I delete you. Before I delete you. Okay.
People
All
for
right.
how long?
Yes. Now I'm calm.
Oh yes.
Now I'm calm. Now
Around
people
that,
are
around that time,
disciplined,
you really needed to
so
delete some
we don't
people.
always have to delete people. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So Lucy, any last words for us whilst we try to wrap up for the evening?
Okay, I would like to say thank you for having me on the hot seat. I know I've been running away from the hot seat for a very long time, and I just decided to
Yes.
let me do it and get it
Yes.
over with. So thank you so much. This is Lucy. Lucy is a nice person. Anytime you see me, please say hello. Just say HR Network and I'll respond. And I like to say I like having
Yeah.
all of you on the platform. I learn a lot. Day in, day out, we learn from all of you. I've met some quite very, very, very brilliant and very, very uh, big people on the platform who are helping us. So we should all take advantage and read the platform mostly. I'm not a WhatsApp person. Cynthia has always been chasing me, but I'll tell you when I come to the HR platform, I usually go have to scroll up a lot and read everything. So if you get me answering your WhatsApp, that means I have picked my phone. I usually answer my WhatsApp at midnight, but I'm trying my best now because Cynthia is not happy with me when I'm not in the rooms for discussion. So I would like to say thank you to all of you who have come around to teach us, those who keep on putting things on the platform. Thank you so much. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll also start sharing one or two things on the platform. I just read something interesting about performance management. I'll share the site for people to read and very simple presentation. So thank you so much, Cynthia. And thank
Mm-hmm.
you. I would like to say thank you, especially for taking over the network because it was chaotic when we started. It was supposed to be something very interesting. And Cynthia came over with some of us in the background. We decided to say, hey, let's do this thing. And she took over very nicely. She's done a very great job with the network. I'll say thank you. Thank you to Emma and all of us who started the network and for all the wonderful people who have joined us and are still helping us. Thank you all. That is all I have to say.
Thank you.
Mm. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lucy, for accepting. In fact, you did not need to accept because I bullied you into this one. I set the date, and I think forward, going forward, that's what I would want to be doing because I want everybody on the network to try to get to know who is on. And especially now in this COVID and this new normal where we may not get immediate opportunities to meet at locations, it's about the way forward. And I know change is slow, but we hope that the use of the Jitsi and the others will catch up soon enough so people can always be available. I appreciate your time. I appreciate all the commitment you've put into everything. We
Cynthia,
are
1 minute.
glad to have you. We've learned from you today. At least,
Cynthia, 1 minute.
can
There's
you
something.
hear?
Yeah, yes, I can hear, but there's something I wanted to say. You see,
Right.
people don't participate on the platform because when you comment, people will ask questions and you comment, your comment will be ignored.
Mm-hmm.
people that they know, they start giving thumbs up, negative thumbs up. So it makes as if what you have put there is very stupid, or it doesn't make sense,
Mm.
or what you have.
Mhm.
I don't think I feel I have a feeling a lot of people
Mm.
feel that way. So since we are all on the network,
Mm.
whether you know the person or not, like
Mm.
everybody, I'm here, but I can't see a lot of people's faces because most of us don't have our faces.
Mm.
Whether you know the person or not, if the person puts something down and it makes sense, or that we should at least encourage
Mm.
people to also bring up the ideas. You don't know where somebody will have an
Mm.
idea, and then
Well, I mean, yeah, well noted. But I would hold brief for platform two. I would hold brief for platform two. You don't have that kind of system there. Platform two is very, very active and engaging, irrespective of who has posted, whether they know or not. Yes, they come up. It is the big girls and big boys who are. If some of them, in fact, I can give exceptions to Bohams and Seniors because they would comment once they feel either aligned or non-aligned with the comments, and so it's well taken. I think every one of us needs to do much more than we're doing. I know you are busy people, but this platform was set up so you can learn and impact generations. And so, thank you very much. Next weekend, on Sunday, I will be having Mr. Paul Agbai of Unilever on the hot seat. I know most of you don't know him, and the essence of the hot seat is so you can know somebody. So Paul will be mounting the hot seat. Another person I have had to bully into the seat. Going forward, that's all I'll be doing. Bullying people. Mr. Sambuafo, please get ready because I'm at your door. I'm knocking. I will be doing a session very soon with Dr. Ayer. We've had him before, Dr. George Ayer in Canada. And we will be looking at leading in crisis. We will send the notifications very soon. On 30th, we will be having him. On 6th of June, we will be having again Dr. Ayi on HR analytics. We will be using the Jitsi. So for those people who have not, because they are listening on YouTube, I want them to hear it because we will be streaming, but there's always a delay. For those who do not have it at all, any of the apps, they will need to, because I have kindly asked him to run a master class on HR analytics from basics. So we cannot do this on the platform because it's a video thing. He's going to be an instructor in the classroom, and he will try to guide us so we can have some basic tips as HR people. So we will be rolling out other activities that we have as the days go by. But I want to say a very big thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. You've been awesome. Do have a very productive week, and always reach out if you do need help from us. Thank you and have a very, very good night.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Cynthia.
good night.
Thank
Thank you,
Thank
VC.
you.
I think we actually enjoyed the session.
you.
Bye bye.
bye.
Bye. Safako, thank you for joining. Safako, thank you. Thank you. I saw you. Yes. Thank you for fulfilling your promise, Safako. Thank
Thank you.
you.
It
Thank you,
was good
Pearl.
joining. Yeah.
It was good seeing you. It was a good
Okay. See you
one.
too,
Vic.
Cynthia. I miss you.
Oh, I miss you. Emma, I saw you. Emisa, I saw you. Thank you for coming. Maureen, thank you. Sam, thank you. Vera, thank you. Pearl, thank you so much. Patricia, thank you. Thank you for making the time to be here with us today. Thank you, Augustina. It was good to see you. Nanaya Seda. That's Patricia, right? Yeah. Thank you. Alfred, thank you. Where's Andrina? These people, I have to start giving them query letters. As the personal managers used to do. Mangma, me query letter. Thank you, Michael, for joining us all the way from US. Thank you, Fidelia. I love you. You know it. Mangmame fe query letter.
Ah, praise the Baba.
Ame bana. Ma ame 20. Oh, personal managers had fun at the time, man.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a very productive week. It's been a good one. Lucy, thumbs up. You killed it.
This is the thing I'm
Thank you.
about.
You see, I told you, stop killing yourself. Stop killing yourself for nothing. You people always put fear and panic in your bones.
Oh no.
Causing fear and panic.
When you asked me again, I said, okay, it's okay. Let's get this thing done with and over. I'm tired.
I've stopped asking difficult questions. People are always afraid of me. I have stopped being stubborn. I said I've repented.
No, but you can ask
Why don't people believe?
The difficult questions brings the.
I've repented. 2020 is a corrupted file, so I've repented.
It's not easy. How are you managing?
I've repented.
How are you managing your place? How is it going?
Mm-hmm.
We are on YouTube, so let's talk later, right?
Say again.
Maybe more questions she get later. We are on net, so.
Okay.
Maybe was an she get later, much up.
Okay. Jo, you know. Okay. Bye. You. All right. Good night. Kelvin, thank you. My one and only son.